They had the stats, the stardom, the million-dollar contracts. But instead of becoming legends, they became cautionary tales. Number 10, Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon didn't just have potential. He was unstoppable. In 2013, he exploded with 1,646 receiving yards in just 14 games. That's the most in the NFL that year, on a team with Brandon Weeden and Jason Campbell throwing him the ball. Let that sink in. No elite quarterback, no offensive mastermind. Just Gordon torching secondaries like it was a hobby. He dropped back-to-back 200-plus yard games that season, something only 3 receivers in NFL history had done before. Scouts compared him to Randy Moss. Coaches said he was unguardable. He was 22 years old and already rewriting stat sheets. Then came 2014, suspended for a DUI arrest. Came back, looked rusty. Next year, suspended again, a whole season, this time for violating the league's substance abuse policy. Then again, and again. Weed, alcohol, reportedly even codeine. The specifics never fully came out, but by 2021, Gordon had been suspended 6 times. Not fined, not benched, fully removed. He missed nearly 80 games. 5 seasons just gone. He got reinstated more than any player in modern NFL history. The Browns kept trying. Then came the Patriots. Tom Brady personally worked with him, even welcomed him into his inner circle. For a few weeks in 2018, Gordon looked like his old self again. Deep bombs, clutch third downs, vintage swagger, but then gone again. Another violation. The Seahawks tried. The Chiefs too. Andy Reid gave him a shot. Mahomes tossed him a touchdown, but he was never the same. In 2022, Gordon ended up in the XFL. Still playing, still trying, but a long, long way from where he should have been. Josh Gordon had Hall of Fame talent and a Hall of Shame storyline. A walking highlight reel turned ghost. If he'd stayed clean, stayed locked in, he could have been the best of his era. But instead of Megatron 2.0, we got a generational what if. And if you think that's tragic, wait until you hear what happened to this next NFL player. Number 9, Johnny Manziel. When the Browns picked Johnny Manziel 22nd overall in the 2014 draft, they weren't just drafting a quarterback. They were buying into a phenomenon. Johnny Football was a college football god, a freshman Heisman winner who torched Nick Saban's defense, juked out entire secondaries, and made the SEC look like a backyard scrimmage. He showed up to Cleveland already carrying a rep for partying. During rookie minicamp, he was spotted flashing a rolled-up dollar bill in a Las Vegas bathroom. In 2015, things spiraled. The Browns benched him for lying about going to Vegas during a bye week, while in disguise. Blonde wig, fake mustache, hoodie, like some sort of discount Scooby-Doo villain. By 2016, he was out of the NFL entirely. He'd been investigated for domestic violence, lost his Nike deal, fired his agent twice, and checked in and out of rehab like it was an off-season training camp. Later, he revealed he had bipolar disorder but refused medication. He admitted he was trying to sabotage his own life, intentionally. The worst part was, players and coaches said the talent was absolutely real. Arm strength, mobility, instincts, all there. But Johnny wanted the lifestyle, not the grind. But this next NFL player, he didn't implode, he destroyed lives, including his own. Number 8, Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs III was drafted 12th overall by the Las Vegas Raiders in 2020. The first wide receiver taken in a loaded class that included Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and T. Higgins. Why? Speed. Ruggs ran a 4.27 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine, the fastest of the entire 2020 class. He wasn't just fast, he was franchise fast. The Raiders planned to build their deep threat offense around him, and early on, it looked like it might work. In 2021, he was averaging over 19 yards per catch. His breakout game came in Week 6 against the Eagles. 3 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown. The next game, he caught a 46-yarder on the first drive. 2 days later, it all ended. On November 2nd, 2021, Ruggs was driving his Corvette at 156 miles per hour down a Las Vegas street with a blood alcohol content of 0.161. more than twice Nevada's legal limit. He slammed into a Toyota RAV4 driven by 23-year-old Tina Tinter. Her car burst into flames. She and her dog died trapped inside. Ruggs' girlfriend, who was in the passenger seat, was also seriously injured. Ruggs himself was found sobbing on the curb, screaming, "Check on her," but it was already too late. He was charged with DUI resulting in death, DUI resulting in substantial bodily harm, and 2 counts of reckless driving. In August 2023, Ruggs accepted a plea deal, 3 to 10 years in prison. He began serving his sentence shortly after. At just 24 years old, Henry Ruggs is now a convicted felon. A top-tier prospect gone in a single night. Not to injury, not to a bad season, but to a fatal decision that took a life and destroyed his own career in seconds. And the next player on this list, his downfall wasn't accidental, it was deliberate and deadly. Number 7, Aaron Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez was supposed to be the guy. A 4th-round steal in the 2010 draft, he quickly became one of Tom Brady's favorite weapons. In just 3 seasons with the Patriots, he racked up 175 receptions, 1,956 yards, and 18 touchdowns. By age 22, he had a $40 million contract extension and was seen as one half of the league's most dangerous tight end duo alongside Rob Gronkowski. But behind the scenes was complete chaos. On June 17, 2013, Odin Lloyd, a semi-pro football player and boyfriend of Hernandez's fiancee's sister, was found shot 6 times in an industrial park less than a mile from Hernandez's home. Within days, police searched Hernandez's house. On June 26, he was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. The evidence was overwhelming. Surveillance footage showed Hernandez holding a gun the night of the murder. Texts and GPS data placed him at the scene. Ballistics matched the bullets to a gun found in his possession. Then came the unraveling. During the trial, prosecutors painted a picture of Hernandez as paranoid, violent, and possibly gang-affiliated. The media exploded with reports linking him to other violent incidents, including a 2012 double homicide in Boston. He was later tried and acquitted for that one. Still, the damage was irreversible. In April 2015, Hernandez was convicted of Lloyd's murder and sentenced to life without parole. 2 years later, on April 19, 2017, he was found dead in his prison cell, hanged with a bedsheet. It was ruled self-harm. The details were eerie. John 3:16 written on his forehead in red ink, drawings on the walls, and notes left behind. Posthumous scans revealed Hernandez had stage 3 chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a brain disease linked to repeated head trauma. Doctors said it was one of the most severe cases ever seen in someone so young. He was just 27. Aaron Hernandez had all-pro talent, a Super Bowl future, and one of the biggest contracts for a tight end at the time. But he threw it all away for murder, secrecy, and a double life no one saw coming. What started as a football career ended as one of the most chilling cautionary tales in sports history. And somehow, what comes next is even darker. Number 6, Justin Blackmon. Justin Blackmon was the 5th overall pick in the 2012 NFL Draft. A 2-time Biletnikoff winner at Oklahoma State and the most dominant receiver in college football. Scouts called him Dez Bryant with better hands. In his rookie season with the Jaguars, he still managed 865 yards and 5 touchdowns, despite catching passes from Blaine Gabbert and Chad Henne. But then came the suspensions. First, a 4-game ban in 2013 for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. When he returned, he lit up the Chargers for 190 yards. Everyone thought he was back. 2 weeks later, he failed another substance test and got banned indefinitely. That was the last time he played in the NFL. No reinstatement, no comeback attempt. He just disappeared. By 2015, he'd racked up multiple DUIs. In 2019, reports surfaced he was living a quiet life in Oklahoma, working a regular job, completely detached from football. Justin Blackmon had wide receiver 1 potential, first-round money, and Pro Bowl talent, but drugs, poor decisions, and silence turned him into a ghost of what could have been. And the next guy, he didn't fade out. He got caught on tape. Number 5, Ray Rice. Ray Rice was a 3-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, and the centerpiece of the Ravens offense. Between 2009 and 2012, he rushed for over 1,100 yards every season and was one of the league's top dual-threat backs. By 2014, he was 27, still in his prime, with over 9,000 career scrimmage yards. Then came the elevator. TMZ released footage of Rice punching his fiancée, Janae Palmer, in an Atlantic City casino elevator. The blow knocked her unconscious. He dragged her out of the elevator like a duffel bag. The Ravens and the NFL initially suspended him just 2 games, sparking national outrage. Sponsors pulled out, fans erupted, politicians weighed in, and then TMZ dropped the full video. The actual punch, not just the aftermath. The Ravens released him. The NFL changed his suspension to indefinite. Rice appealed and won the legal battle, making him technically eligible to play again. But no team touched him. Not the CFL. Not a single practice squad. He did interviews, spoke at events, went through counseling. Nothing worked. The video was unshakable. Not because Rice lacked talent. He was still good enough to play, but because the world saw what he did in real time, uncut. Ray Rice's career ended not with a decline in performance, but with one moment of violence that erased everything. And the next guy, he had even more talent and even more self-destruction. Aldon Smith came into the NFL like a missile. Drafted 7th overall by the 49ers in 2011, he racked up 14 sacks as a rookie. The next year, he dropped 19.5 sacks, just a half sack short of breaking Michael Strahan's all-time single-season record. At 23, he was already an All-Pro and looked destined for Canton. Then came the arrests. In September 2013, he was busted for DUI and marijuana possession after crashing into a tree while reportedly holding a bottle of tequila. That same year, he checked into rehab mid-season and missed 5 games. By 2014, he was suspended for 9 games after a weapons charge from a house party gone wrong, where multiple gunshots were fired. In 2015, he was arrested again for DUI, hit and run, and vandalism. The 49ers finally cut him. The Raiders picked him up, then suspended, then reinstated, then suspended again, this time for a full year. The Cowboys took a chance in 2020, and he showed flashes of his old self, but in 2021, he was arrested for felony DUI causing injury just days after signing with the Seahawks. They cut him. He never played another down. Aldon Smith had Hall of Fame talent and all-time self-destruct energy. He could have been Von Miller's rival. Instead, he became a career built on headlines, just never the kind you want to read about. And the next player, he literally shot himself in the leg, end his career. Number 3, Plaxico Burress. In February 2008, Plaxico Burress was on top of the world. He just caught the game-winning touchdown in Super Bowl 42, helping the Giants upset the undefeated Patriots. He had size, hands, and big playability, the perfect red zone threat. In his prime, Burress put up back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons and had over 55 career touchdowns. Then, he shot himself. On November 28, 2008, Burress walked into a Manhattan nightclub with a loaded, unlicensed Glock 40 tucked into his waistband. It slipped. He reached to catch it and pulled the trigger. The bullet ripped right through his right thigh. The injury wasn't serious, but in New York, the gun charge was he didn't have a valid permit, and the state's laws are ruthless. Within days, he was charged with 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon. In 2009, Burress accepted a plea deal. 2 years in prison with 2 years of supervised release. He served 20 months behind bars. By the time he returned in 2011, he was 34. The Giants had moved on. He signed with the Jets and later the Steelers, but he never regained his old form. One accidental shot ended a Super Bowl MVP caliber career. Burress didn't get banned. He didn't test positive. He just made one reckless decision that rewrote his legacy forever. But this next NFL player, he didn't have an accident. He had an addiction, and it cost him everything. Number 2, Art Schlichter. Art Schlichter was supposed to be the future of the Colts. Drafted 4th overall in 1982 out of Ohio State, he was a college superstar with a rocket arm and all the hype. But behind the scenes, he was already addicted to gambling. Within months of signing his rookie deal, he racked up over $150,000 in betting debt, not just on college basketball, but allegedly on NFL games too. By 1983, the league suspended him indefinitely for gambling. He returned in 1984, but the addiction had already destroyed his confidence, his play, and his reputation. He flamed out of the NFL with just 3 career starts and 3 touchdowns. What came next was worse. Throughout the 90s and 2000s, Schlichter ran scam after scam. He forged checks, faked business deals, and ran a massive ticket fraud scheme. Targeting friends, fans, even elderly victims, he promised Super Bowl seats that didn't exist, then used their money to fuel more bets. In 2011, he was sentenced to over 10 years in federal prison for defrauding victims of over $2 million. Art Schlichter wasn't just the NFL's first major gambling scandal. He became its blueprint for how bad it could get. The league banned him. The FBI caught him. And even after decades, the bets never fully stopped. And the next guy on the list, he didn't get caught in a scandal. He got caught in a moment that turned deadly. Number 1, Lawrence Phillips. Lawrence Phillips was a force of nature at Nebraska. A 2-time national champion and one of the most physically gifted running backs college football had ever seen. His speed, power, and vision made him a guaranteed top 10 pick, even though teams knew he came with serious baggage. In 1996, the Rams took him 6th overall, despite a college suspension for dragging his ex-girlfriend down a flight of stairs. They hoped the NFL would straighten him out. It didn't. In St. Louis, Phillips missed practices, clashed with coaches, and was accused of physically assaulting multiple women. The Rams cut him before the season even ended. He bounced to the Dolphins, then the 49ers, where he missed a crucial block that led to Steve Young's career-ending concussion. They cut him too. Then the Canadian Football League. Same pattern. Talent never left, but the violence didn't either. In 2005, he was sentenced to 10 years for choking a girlfriend, and 25 more for intentionally driving his car into 3 teenagers after a pickup football game argument. While serving time in California, he was charged with murdering his cellmate. Before the trial could begin, Phillip was found dead in his cell in 2016, ruled a suicide. He was 40 years old. Lawrence Phillips had all-pro talent and Hall of Fame potential, but his life became a timeline of violence, arrests, and wasted chances. A tragic reminder that talent without control leads nowhere. So, which one of these NFL downfalls do you think was the most unexpected? Let me know in the comments. And if you're into wild NFL stories, band legends, and drama the league hopes you forgot, go ahead and click on one of these other videos in the corner.